Welcome to this GED Math Booster video. The subject of today's video is a problem where we have to deal with the probability of machines. Let's take a look at the problem. A water bottle manufacturer has two machines that work together. The first machine fills the bottles and the second machine applies the labels. If the probability of filling a bottle correctly is 0.98, and the probability of labeling a bottle correctly is 0.95. What is the probability of a bottle being filled and labeled correctly? That is a lot. Let me try to explain what they are describing there. It's not as complicated as it seems. We have a filling machine and we have a labeling machine. We fill the bottles first and then we label them second. So you can imagine a series of bottles going through these two machines. And these machines are going to make mistakes. So they're telling us that the probability of filling correctly is 0.98. We might also think of that as 98 out of 100. So if 100 bottles go in, 98 will be good, will be filled properly, and 2 will be bad. On the labeling side, 0.095, we are told in the problem. That would be 95 out of 100. In a similar fashion, we could say if 100 bottles go into the labeling machine, 95 come out labeled properly, and 5 are labeled incorrectly. That's really all that's going on here. Now, we've learned in dealing with probability that when two different things are happening, we should multiply those probabilities, and this is no different. So let's take the product of what we would call the two independent probabilities. They're independent because the filling machine doesn't know what the labeling machine is doing, and the labeling machine doesn't know what the filling machine is doing. So they work independently. So we can take the product of the probabilities of filling correctly with labeling correctly. Just multiply those two things together. Multiply those two decimals together. 0.98 times 0.95 equals 0.931. And that is the answer to this problem. So something that seemed quite complicated at the beginning turned out to be just multiplying these two numbers together. So the key takeaway from this video is to remember that the product of independent probabilities gives you the probability that both things happen. In this case, the probability that the bottle is filled correctly and labeled correctly. That wraps up this video. I hope you found it helpful.